There's no let-up in the fierce fighting raging in Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland, the Donbas region. Ukrainian forces are battling to prevent Russia taking full control of the city of Severodonetsk. The regional governor says constant shelling is making it impossible to evacuate hundreds of civilians trapped in a chemical plant there. Russian troops are also targeting neighboring Lysyschansk, where the civilian death toll is mounting. But the Russian military offensive is not limited to the Donbas region. Ukraine has reported strikes on several cities elsewhere in the country. President Volodymyr Zelensky went to see the damage in one southern city for himself.
A rare excursion outside of Kyiv for Volodymyr Zelensky to Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine, where the Ukrainian leader, normally running operations from the capital Kyiv, could witness at first hand the devastation wrought by Russian artillery. His visit comes a day after a Russian strike killed 2 people and injured 20 in the city. It's been under constant barrage by Russian forces since the invasion began on February 24th. Mykolaiv lies on the way to the key strategic Black Sea port of Odessa. The fiercest fighting is in the Donbas region to the east, which Moscow's forces have been trying to seize for weeks. The Russians have pounded the region with air raids, artillery and rockets. Artillery shelling continues periodically every 10 minutes. Then there's a pause for 20 to 30 minutes, and then again for 6 hours. Better equipped Russian forces have made significant gains in both the Luhansk and Donetsk regions that make up the Donbas. In Donbas, the focus of the invaders is now on Sievierodonetsk and Bakhmut. To improve the tactical position, the enemy tried to conduct assaults outside the city but was unsuccessful. Ukrainian troops have pleaded for additional heavy weaponry to turn the tide in the east. We need serious equipment and we need more tanks. Right now, we're getting equipment for infantry soldiers. As a result, we have to fight a guerrilla war. Zelensky brought his country one step closer to European Union membership when the bloc recommended Ukraine as a candidate on Friday. But the bigger challenge for the Ukraine president now remains securing heavy weapons needed to defend the Donbas.
Let's go to DW correspondent Emmanuel Shaz, who's in Kyiv. Good to see you, Emma. What's the latest on the situation on the Eastern Front?
Well, Michael, we've just heard about the shelling, the constant shelling on Lysyschansk. It has intensified over the past few days, and this shelling is actually indiscriminate. It affects civilians. There's a number of civilians who died over the past few days, and in neighboring city of Severodonetsk, well, there's no longer access to the city. The last practicable highway has been completely destroyed by the shelling. There have been elsewhere gains from the Ukrainian armed forces near Zaporizhia, near Kherson, but the price for those fighting is really heavy, really taking its toll. This morning here in Kyiv, just behind me in the Mikhailivska Golden Dome Monastery, there was a funeral of a 24-year-old Kyiv activist turned soldier, Roman Ratushny, and his death is one among many affecting Ukrainians, but his death in particular was really felt by an entire nation mourning for him. I was talking this morning to Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko. Maybe let's hear what he had to say about this particular young man, about Roman Ratushny, who died on the front line.
He was representative of generation which born in independent Ukraine. He was very proactive in the revolutionary dictatorship. He was always proactive to defend the interest of our city. He was proactive, he was the first at the front to defend our country. have great ideas. He was so positive personality. And he died, but at the same time, he's still alive. He's still in our heart. He's still in our memory. And we give the name of his name, the street, remain the street of his name in our hometown. And we continue his dream and continue the fight for independence, for democracy, and for territorial integrity of our homeland.
Kyiv's mayor there clearly moved by this activist who inspired fellow Ukrainians. Emma, despite the fighting that's raging at their doorsteps, Ukrainians, it strikes me, might have reason to be inspired. This week, the European Commission took a step toward granting the country candidate status, and there have been additional arms pledges from the EU as well as the UK. From your vantage point, how much of a boost has this been to morale?
Well, of course, this week has come with its lots of comforting surprises. First, the visit of European leaders, Olaf Scholz, Emmanuel Macron, among others. Then the visit of UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson. They all came with the promise and the assurance that Ukraine's candidacy to the European Union would be supported. This has been effectively done so by Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the EU Commission, yesterday. So that comes as good news, in particular for this younger generation of Ukrainians who were born after the fall, the dismantle of the USSR. It comes as a comfort, but still on a daily basis, Ukrainians feel in their flesh, in their blood, this war. Even this morning during the funeral, we could hear air sirens above Kiev, in Kiev skies. So this war is everywhere. This war is affecting everyone, and people are really tired of that. They need more support. They ask for more support. And of course, joining the European Union, even if it's a long process, is a prospect that is more than welcome here in Kiev.
DW's Emmanuel Shaz, many thanks.